try to take out my man. They try to shoot Trump in the head. They took the headshot. I call it the proverbial headshot. In this country, whenever you want to take somebody out, you give them that headshot. Lincoln, Kennedy, and then they try to take out Trump. King, when it's time to take you out, here comes the headshot.
Both Kennedy.
Fortunately, and I don't even think they gave him a headshot, did they?
Yeah.
The brother was a headshot too? It was? Yep. Okay. Well, listen, man. They tried to get Trump. Now, Trump, I want you to understand this. Here's what Trump needs to understand. And people that have access to Trump better understand this. They tried to blow his brains out, and he done ran right back out there doing them rallies. Now, I'm not telling Trump to stop doing the rallies. By all means, Trump, do the rallies.
Right.
Don't change up how you talk. Don't change up how you say stuff. You keep coming the same way you've been coming. But Trump, Donald John Trump, you have got to get more protection. You keep letting them surround you with these punk ass broads, and they call them Secret Service. How in the hell, Trump? I mean, damn it, Trump, you're not thinking.
Right.
You letting them put these broads on your detail. They can't protect you. They're scared. We saw them ducking and hiding, and one put her head in front of you because she was afraid of getting shot in the head because she knew the bullets was coming from the direction that was behind y'all, and they're taking you this way. And go look at the picture. She hiding like this, got her head in front of Trump's chest, his torso area.
He's too short.
They couldn't holster their guns, couldn't do nothing. Running around like it was a Chinese fire drill. They didn't have a damn clue what to do. Trump, you ought to know that they gave you those brides to protect you for a reason, because they knew they could not protect you. And here's what we know for a fact, Mike. Nobody wants to tell people this. Every female that you see that's working as a Secret Service agent, a policeman, or a fireman in the United States of America, there's a criteria to get there, okay? They have a reduced criteria. So if you give somebody a reduced criteria, what you are saying is that they are not as capable as the men when you give these women this reduced criteria, right?
Right.
So if she is not physically capable to perform like a man, that means that whoever they are providing security for, if we're talking about the Secret Service, their security is not top notch.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So you are sacrificing whoever they are guarding. You're simultaneously sending a message to those that will want to bring harm to the individuals that they're guarding. Say, hey, this is your opportunity because we got these women guarding.
Right.
Okay? If a woman is a fireman, the fact that she holds the title as fireman is fraudulent. She's a fraud. That is a DEI affirmative action hire. Just like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden said it himself, that she was a DEI hire. In addition to that, anytime you say you're selecting someone because of their gender or their race.
I'll appoint the first black woman to the court. I'll pick a woman to be vice president.
Just to be clear, you just committed here tonight that your running mate, if you get the nomination, will be a woman?
Yes.
That's a DEI promotion. That means you give no thought to what they're capable of doing or if they can actually execute the job.
Right.
That's called stupidity. In the business world, companies go out of business because of those types of promotions.
Right.
They lose money because of those types of promotions. They create animosity because of those types of promotions, because you better believe the person or the persons that didn't get promoted because they didn't have the right race or the right gender is angry, upset. Now you create bad vibes or bad energy within the company.
Right.
See, you can't do this, America. And understand, because there's one common thing related to all this, and that is the Democrats, the left, the progressives. We only have this nonsense and this foolishness because they insist on it. Right. So when you insist on going and voting for them, then you insist on destroying America, bringing America down, dumbing America down. Y'all gonna take America to hell with your vote. And people standing up saying, I don't want to talk politics. I don't like politics. Politics is stupid. All politicians are bad. That's cop-out talk. Right. When you don't want to deal with reality. And when I hear a man talking like that, I really have a problem, because men are supposed to stand up and face the music. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to talk about that. Can we not talk politics? What the hell do you mean? That's what determines everything in this country, in your life, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to ignore the things that are determining what's what for you, then don't get mad when they determine something for you and it's not good for you.
Right.
And it don't work out so well for you. You ain't got shit to say. Because remember, you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want to talk about it. Listen, John Wilkes Booth, he shot Lincoln in the head. And we're talking about these headshots because they try to take our man Trump out. When John Wilkes Booth, now listen to this, because I'm making a real live comparison analogy. This is real. Let me say this first before I get on John Wilkes Booth. The guy that shot at Trump's head, they said, well, he's a Republican. Listen, Mike, you can lie and tell everybody else that. I don't care if there is a piece of paper in the Butler, Pennsylvania County. I believe that's Butler County there as well. There may be a piece of paper at the Board of Elections that identifies him as a Republican, okay?
Okay.
But we know he wasn't a Republican because we can go and look at some of the things he said.
Right.
And that's not Republicans talking. That's not how a Republican talk. That's how a liberal leftist Democrat talks. So that now tells me not only, we know this whole thing was a setup. They tried to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
And they were smart enough to make sure, let me tell you, they recruited this boy a long time ago. And part of the recruitment process was we're going to identify him on paper as a Republican. See, that's the game they play. He wasn't a Republican. He was a radical, liberal, leftist, progressive. And his words said it. See, the paper doesn't identify you. Your actions do.
Right.
Your language does. I'm going by the actions. I'm going by the language. You try to take out the leader of the Republican Party.
Right.
So you can't be a Republican because you can't be a Republican and want to take out the leader of the Republican Party no more than you can be a Democrat and want to take out the leader of the Democrat Party.
Right.
So y'all full of shit. You spend that somewhere else. You can't get that over on me. Because I don't rely on CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Al Jazeera, English, and all the rest of these red-ass media outlets to lie to me.
Right.
And then I got to subscribe to it. Let me tell you something. So here's my point. The Democrats in the swamp elected to take Trump out with a headshot. In the same way that John Wilkes Booth elected to take out the first Republican president this country ever had, Lincoln, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln was the first Republican president that we ever had in the United States of America. They took him out with a headshot. Trump currently is the last Republican president that we ever had in America. They attempted to take him out with the headshot. John Wilkes Booth wanted to preserve, and this is key, black folk, and you white conservatives, because I'm going to get to y'all because y'all better man up and stop being afraid of being called a racist.
Right.
Or a homophobe or a xenophobe or whatever. So you just sit there and shut up, huh? You climb up because you're so afraid of being called a name. But let me get back to this. John Wilkes Booth wanted to preserve the Confederacy. The Confederacy was fighting a war against the North, i.e. the Republicans, in order to preserve slavery and white supremacy. And just like John Wilkes Booth wanted to shoot Lincoln in the head because he was there to help preserve, he wanted to preserve white supremacy and slavery and the Confederacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these Democrats that try to take Trump out, likewise, they want to protect their plantation and their slaves and their white supremacy that they are currently practicing on black Democrat voters. See, black Democrat voters are slaves living on a plantation. You understand? Mm-hmm. Bowing down to the white supremacy that is white liberals, because white liberals are supreme over black Democrat voters because they have outwitted them and gotten them to electorally vote against their own best interests and for their own death and destruction.
Right.
Y'all. So back to the black man. You better separate yourself from these black women. And you better let them know, your sisters, your mamas, your girlfriends, your wives, your aunties. Listen, auntie, Listen, mama. Listen, sister. We're no longer going to subscribe to the Luciferian left, to these Democrats, because everything that they support works against our own best interests.
Right.
They got us murdering our babies. They don't want to give us school choice. They done help push this whole sodomite agenda in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to usurp our personal rights, liberties, and freedoms with this false climate science crap. And they want to force all these mandates down our throats and onto our lives. That takes away, slowly but surely, our freedom to function how we want to function and live and exist in America. They don't even know about that.
Right.
So I'm telling you, when John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln in the head, that man was all about the preservation of slavery, the Confederacy, and white supremacy. And now today, they're saying, in the same spirit of John Wilkes Booth, these people on the left wanted to shoot Trump in the head, wanted to take him out with that proverbial headshot because they want to preserve slavery, which black Democrat voters are their slaves. They wanted to preserve white supremacy. They exercise white supremacy over blacks every day when they deceive them and trick them and fool them into voting against their own self-interest.
Right.
So y'all better know what I'm saying to you. Now, let me say something. They've been giving us warnings, Mike. We've been getting warnings. Let me tell you about the warnings. Let me say this before I go into the warnings. You do realize that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, who are so adamant about promoting this whole fight between Russia and the Ukraine and using our resources and our technology and our men to help the Ukraine inflict damage against Russia. And then listen, I'm not sitting here saying Putin is right. No. I'm not saying that. That's not my argument. My argument is that we have no business continuing to do everything we can do to try and start World War III to the degree, because it's already going on, but to the degree to where Russia and the United States are lobbing missiles back and forth directly at one another.
Right.
Now, all these white liberals ran around trying to put Trump down when Trump was running the first time, talking about he's going to start World War III. He's unhinged. Now, under Trump, we saw peace.
Yeah.
We saw peace. Under Biden, we're on the verge of World freaking War III. And these same people that were saying Trump was unhinged and these same people that were saying Trump was going to thrust us into World War III ain't saying a damn thing when Biden has us right here. That far away from World War III. They're hypocrites, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
They're scoundrels. They're disgusting. They are agenda driven. You can't trust nothing they say.
Not at all.
So here's what I want to say, Mike. They're warning us. The Chinese flew the weather balloon, the so-called weather balloon over the country, right?
Right.
And Biden did not know how to respond to that. As a matter of fact, they made some of the stupidest excuses, saying we don't want the debris field to fall down and potentially hurt people on the ground.
Right.
Are you for real? The first thing you do, and damn a debris field, and there's plenty of places when it was flying across the western United States where there's nothing down there.
Right.
The forest and open land and tundra, frozen tundra. You should have shot that son of a bitch down so quick. Shoot it with something that's going to completely obliterate it.
Right.
Then there ain't no damn debris field.
Right.
Okay? Debris field my ass. Y'all just didn't know how to respond to it. And that's what happens when you put people in charge because for the wrong reasons, when they're not real leaders. Trump would have responded swiftly. Trump would have blew that damn thing to hell.
Yeah.
And we would have felt proud as Americans to see our leader blow that thing to hell and send a message to the Chinese, don't you fuck around over here flying something over us. You stupid monkeys. That's how you deal with them.
Yeah,
Absolute force.
but you got those knuckleheads and the Democrats that have tried to take him to court for that.
you damn right. That's what they'll do. That's their response. So they gave us a warning there, right?
Yeah.
Then we saw another warning. Obama made that little cheap ass movie about the technological collapse.
Right.
And then what happens? You got the CrowdStrike issue. They're signaling. They're warning us. They're running tests to see how we'll respond. The pandemic,
Right.
that was a test. That was a warning. Let's see how they respond to this.
Right.
Because they have things right now that they can release. And some people want to release it that has a 50% kill rate. They're not playing with us.
Mm-mm.
They don't respect our lives.
Nope.
And then they come up here and they talk about, we want to save as many lives as possible, wear your personal protection devices, stay 6 feet away, and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about when these Democrats were saying it, because I contend that the Democrats were behind this thing. And I've said in other broadcasts, I named everybody that was behind it.
Right.
Why they were behind it. Because they are so power thirsty, they are so agenda driven, they are so much about bringing in the New World Order and all the demonic stuff that comes with it. They're willing to sacrifice all of your little American lives with a pandemic. They don't care about how many people die if it gives them the ability to come in and win an election, cheat and win an election, change up how we vote in order to get the man out that has come between them and their globalist agenda.
Right.
Being the agenda in this country. That's what Trump represented to these people. He wedged himself in between the globalist World Economic Forum UN agenda, that's straight from hell,
Right.
and this country. And y'all think it's a joke. Y'all don't really understand it. When Trump says that he loves you, he loves America, he's fighting for America, the man really means it. Because he actually recognizes that, wait a minute, this stuff that they're peddling, it's not good for America. It's not pro-America. And he wants to stop it. And y'all too stupid to see it because the left has done blinded you. The Democrats done blinded you and said, he's a racist. When this man been dating black women, sponsoring black organizations, giving black folk money to go into business, then they don't even make them pay it back.
Right.
Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton used to sing his praises, and he was bankrolling their initiatives, helping them to do work supposedly in the black community, but they wasn't doing work. They were pocketing everything they got their little grimy hands on.
Right.
Trump has been a supporter of black Americans and the black community for years. And you can go online, you can go on YouTube, and you can look at all the events he was at where he was giving this award and that award, and all the black people loved him. And all the black rappers rapped about him in their songs. And now all of a sudden he's a racist because he comes out and he says, make America great again, make America great again. And you Negroes ain't got enough sense to know that includes you.
Right.
He didn't say he just want to spare white folks from this Luciferian demonic leftist Democrat Party agenda. As a matter of fact, it's impossible to say you want to save the country and black folks not be included. I don't hear no Democrats coming out saying they want to make America great again, because America includes you. And I'm here to tell you that the Democrats don't want to make America great again because they don't want to make you great again. They don't want to see you prosper. And I already showed you the facts that they don't want to see you prosper because they want to stop school choice. They want you to murder your babies because they want to eventually eradicate you. And they allow 15 million illegals over the border, and they're taking your place. And for the first time in American history, I believe it was in 2016, you had more Hispanics vote than blacks. Right. What does that tell you? They're taking you over. And the reason why you have more Hispanics voting in America than blacks is because these white, evil, liberal Democrats and let all these Hispanics in the country. Right. Because they want to replace you with them. Right. Because they're tired of relying upon your vote, because your vote comes with a high cost.
Well, they already have replaced us.
Hey, Mike, listen, you're right to have, but let me say this, because I've said this before and I can't say it enough. The Democrat Party complete and the leadership, they understand that the black vote is very costly. They have to come out and they have to cater to blacks. They have to spend money on blacks. They have to make promises to blacks. They have to make promises to spend money. They have to make sure that they give us these crumbs, and it costs a lot of money to keep blacks engaged in voting in America.
Right, but
okay,
they promised us and we still haven't gotten yet.
Ain't got nothing, but here's my point. You don't have to promise the illegals nothing. You don't have to promise the Hispanics, because you already gave them what they needed. was a free ticket into the country.
Right.
So actually, they owe you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how do they repay the Democrats that allow them erroneously into the country? They run in both of them. That's their repayment to the Democrats. Y'all haven't even figured this thing out.